So what's good? But this video was I was going to wait to film until I didn't really know when, but this person was still like around me and I didn't want to put up something like this and end up possibly getting in trouble or anything like that. So obviously I'm not going to use her name or anything. So this is going to be my roommate from hell story time. It's great. So yeah, so let's just go back to the beginning. I'm a freshman in college, if you guys don't know. I don't live with her anymore, and she only did one semester there and left, so she is not there. I don't have to worry about it. So we're gonna call her Katie. No, let's just call her Ashley. Why not? So prior to moving, my college called me and was like, hey, here's your new roommate's information, you should contact her before you move in. So we like friended each other on Facebook. I followed her on Instagram, like we had texted, and I was just like, hey, will you like bring a shower curtain? Like I forgot what I was bringing, and in my mind I'm like, we're gonna bring our own towels, like all of that. Oh, and I brought like a trash can and all this stuff. Yeah, so I was really excited to move in. I was kind of nervous. Obviously, it's my first time away from home, moving out, and it's just stressful in and of itself, but I was really excited. So move-in day, we get there, I'm moving my stuff in, and then she shows up, and it was instantly awkward. And I was trying to be friendly, like I'm a really friendly person. So I'm like, hey girl, like, how are you? But I was like, hey, like, you know, trying to be friendly. Both our families are there, and I just felt like she was competing with me. Like, it's very weird. And I have some specific examples. So something that gets on my nerves so bad is when people lie, especially about stupid shit. I'm just gonna say it, stupid shit. Like, it makes me so angry. So she told me that her grandmother works at the makeup counter on Walmart. Then she told me that her mom worked like way higher up than she did. Like, she said she was like a director of something, but her mom was really just like a CNA. Like, just lots of weird things. And her family ended up, oh yeah, so we go to eat together for lunch, and her family doesn't know what vehicle they brought. So that was weird. They're like, oh, it's just like the gray one. Like, it was a Tahoe, and they didn't know what it was. So we were like, whatever, like, we're not judging yet. But looking back, I'm just like, anyway. So we go out to eat, and I'm trying to, like, I'm excited, like I said, and I'm trying to be friendly. And it's like everything I've done, she's done. Like, yeah, I went to CNA school my senior. I'm a med aide. That's what I did. And I was like, okay, like, all right. We were both nursing majors. And it was just very, like, hostile, I guess. Like, she made me feel very, like, unwanted. Like, she was just mad at me. And I was like, okay. So, hi, it's me editing. I want to add a few things while I, like, edit, because I'm realizing I left some things out. This is, like, it's a few months later, if we're being honest. So, another thing I want to add, when we were moving in, her mom like pulled me to the side and was like, please take care of my baby. Like, that was really weird. So that's the first thing I want to add. So I try not to make too big of a deal out of it. This is our first day. Maybe she was nervous. Like, I was just like, it's fine. No. So we ended up, my parents, so our parents were supposed to feed us dinner. Well, everyone else's parents like flew off and just didn't care to feed their children. So my parents ordered pizzas and like fed. So I also want to describe we had 3 rooms that all the doors open to a living room area. And then you open that and went into a hallway. So us 3 shared this living room, dining room area that I was really excited for. Like, I had wanted to live in these dorms. I got a room. I was so stinking excited. We had a big closet. Like, it was great. So my parents ordered pizza, it's fine, and we ended up running to Walmart because I needed something. And she was like, yeah, can you buy me hangers? And the hangers come into play. So as we're unpacking, I'm realizing also that I brought towels, I brought hand soap, I brought like all of this stuff, and she has nothing. Like, I brought a trash can, I brought, like, we didn't really have anything in our dorm. Like, we didn't have a desk, we didn't have anything. So I went and got a desk and a chair. Like, I went and bought all of these things, or my parents bought them. And we asked her, do you need anything? And she said hangers, and that comes into play. And she did not bring a shower curtain. The one thing I asked her to bring, she did not bring, but I was trying to let it go. So we buy her hangers, which she never uses. I lived with her for 3 weeks and she never used those hangers. So the first night was like fine. Like, we sat down and had this meeting. Like, all 6 of us girls came into the living room and were like, hey, don't touch our stuff. Like, if you want something, ask. And we all assumed we were on the same page. And this girl, what do we name her, Ashley, gets up and goes and gets one. Like, these 2 girls had bought a whole like case of water bottle, went to the fridge in front of them and just got one. And we were all like, we just had this talk, but all right. So it became really difficult for me because I also did not want to start drama with the other girls. I did not want to like pin people against each other. This wasn't high school. Like, I would try to be cordial through all of this, which is not like me. I like to be petty. So the first, I think, red sign for me was that she was using my hand towel. She did not have a hand towel. Because our shower towels weren't kept in the bathroom. And she only had a bar of soap in the shower. So I have all my shower stuff in there, like my shampoo, my conditioner, body wash, loofah, razor, shaving cream, like face wash, all of that. And this girl ends up with shaved legs. Okay, that's just one thing. Okay, fine. And she also, I can hear her when you pump my soap, it's glass, and I could hear her pumping my soap. So we end up going through soap really fast, and we're at Walmart, and I'm like, hey, like, would you mind like buying soap? And in front of everyone, we had already predetermined she was gonna buy some soap. In front of everyone, she goes, well, I don't use that, but I guess I can buy you some. Okay. Also, she would go into the bathroom for an hour, not even have the water running. And I had some stuff. I had a lot of stuff, a lot more stuff than her. And she had like a few things. And I could hear her going through my stuff. Okay, so far it's annoying, but it didn't sound that bad. Girl, wait. So far she's used my razor, lied about using my things, and is going through my things. And also, like, in the closet, it was like a really big walk-in closet. But there was like this shelf and like my stuff would be moved, and so it was just like really odd, and like I knew she was moving my stuff, and I would ask her like, hey, do you need anything? And she was someone that was not afraid to ask for things, like would go over the top. And so she always was asking for things like when I would offer, because I was trying to keep her from going through my shit. And then she also would just ask nonstop to use all of my things, and so it got really exhausting. And like when she kept putting, so I bought a fake wooden desk, and she kept putting cold drinks on it, and I kept being like, hey, like, please stop putting stuff on my desk. Like, I'd come in and like half of my desk would just be covered in trash, and I was like, hey. So then I went home one weekend and I asked her like, hey, you know, let's use our own trash cans. Like, she obviously didn't bring one, but I was like, please don't use mine in the room. I left and had emptied it, and it was full when I got back, and I was like, hey, will you take that out? And she goes, I didn't fill it. Also, so this is like all over the span of like 3 weeks, and this is really in order because like I'm just angry. She ended up like the second week of us being there, like first week of actual classes, she would go into the other girls' rooms and lock the door. And sometimes she would get all of them to go into a room with her, lock the door, and I could hear them. And she would talk about me. She'd call me a bitch. She would say that I was selfish. She would say I'm petty. She would say I'm so hard to live with, and I'm always asking for her stuff, and like I'm always in her stuff. Okay. All right. So my like Wednesday of my first week of class, because we had welcome week. Wednesday of my first week of class, So this was getting really hard for me at this point. She was up until 4 a.m. in our room rearranging and talking on the phone. 4 a.m. and I had an 8 a.m. so I missed that, and I was just like sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? So again, at this point, I'm still trying to be cordial because I have to live with this person. So I was like, hey, if you could just like go out of the room when you want to talk on the phone, like late at night. So for the rest of the time that I lived with her, whenever she would go to talk on the phone, she would slam the door and slam it open and slam the door, and she'd call several people at night. Like, I don't know what she was doing. And then, oh yeah, so she's eating all of our food and everything. She ends up going and getting food finally. And this is like the last week of me living with her. Makes a whole freaking list about what's hers and the number of everything. So then that Wednesday when she'd kept me up, I finally went to these two other girls and I was like, look, she kept me up until 4 a.m. It's a living hell here. I can't do this. I need to sleep on your bedroom floor. And this girl was like, oh my gosh, we're still friends. Her name's Harley. She's the sweetest thing ever. And she was like, oh my god, Maddie, like, you can sleep in my bed. I slept on their floor. Like, I passed out on their floor for like 3 hours. Like, I was just so tired. Yeah. And then I ended up going to those two girls, and I was like, because Ashley became really good friends with some of the other girls. Because I did not, like, honestly, I just wanted to hit her, which I know is not okay. And I could have, you know, gotten charged with things. I could have gotten kicked out of the school. Like, I was just trying to survive at this point. Okay, so I was going to move in with this one girl. And then they were like, well, there's this other girl that really, really wants a roommate. And her name's Stevie. Hint, my new roommate. Because I'd already met the other girl. And they said that, you know, she's been really asking for one. And more than the other girl, I guess. So Stevie was supposed to have a roommate, but ended up not because I don't know what happened. But she just stopped hearing from her. So I already had a class with Stevie, and I knew exactly who she was. She couldn't remember who I was because Madeline's a really common name. So the next day I walked in, and this was like a week and a day. So I'd gone home. My mom came and got me because I had like car issues. It was so stressful. Basically, I ended up going into Stevie, and I was supposed to move in like that weekend, and I just sat down behind her and I was like, I need to move in today. Like, it's gotten so out of hand. Like, I can't anymore. Like, I'm so done. And she was like, okay. Like, my mom already knew I was moving in today. Like, I did not care where I was moving. I was not going to live there anymore at all. Done. Skirt. Bye. So, like, if I was moving home, like, I did not care. So I, like, called my mom, and I was like, I'd gone home that Wednesday, I believe. I'm not completely sure of the timeline, honestly, but, like, it was just set in stone. Like, I am getting out of there today. So we start moving me out at a time when Ashley had class, and Stevie helped me. She was so sweet. My mom came, and we were like moving me out. And Ashley did not normally come back at this time, but her friend that she was in cahoots with texted her and was like, Maddie's like moving all her shit out. So she comes walking back and comes in and says hi to my mom. Like, she hasn't been making my life a living hell. And my mom didn't even acknowledge her. I went and hid in Harley's room. Like, I was so upset at this point. Like, I was hiding with my fish, Stella. Like, just so angry, so scared, so mad. Like, so many feelings. Just fucking livid. Livid. Yeah. It was. So we get all my stuff. We move me in. It's been great ever since. But, she ended up just not going to class. I had a class with her. She ended up just not going to all of her classes, like the last 2 months of school. And she ended up not going there anymore. And I know that some people have way worse stories, but I almost wish that this would have been more confrontational, because I hate when people are passive aggressive and lie and are just so rude, because it's like, I could be like, I know you're lying to me, but she's like, no, I'm not. Like, it just got out of hand so fast. And Harley and I are still friends, and yeah, it wasn't great for them either. They had a really hard time too. Even after I moved out, like, she kind of ramped up onto them. So yeah, and then that other girl that she was in cahoots with ended up having weed in the dorm, which is so not okay. And it's illegal in Texas, and ended up trying to flush it, and her roommate found it. Like, it just sounded like it was real fun since I left. So that was my roommate from hell. I didn't really learn anything from the experience except how not to cry when someone makes me really angry. I mean, I would not want to relive that. But I would say to you guys that if you are living with someone that's just making you that uncomfortable and that it's that bad, like when I talk about it, it doesn't sound that bad, but when I was living it, it was pretty rough. So I would just say, like, go talk to someone, because I thought I had to wait until the end of the semester to move into a different dorm, and they were like, no, we have, like, people that want roommates right now that would love to have you in a completely different building. So that's all I would recommend, and just, you know, like, try and let your RA and your RD know before you just, like, fly off up to, like, the highest person possible, and they'll be able to help you. There are roommate agreements and things like that. So yeah, sometimes there's just gonna be people that are really difficult to live with or even be around. So this is my roommate from hell story time. Bye guys. Be sure to subscribe, and I upload 3 times a week. And I have an Instagram where I interact just with you guys. It's That Girl Mads on YouTube. It's always linked in my description. So yeah, I'd really love to interact with you guys on there, and I would love to see you guys in my next video. Bye.